Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inner Spark, the channel where stories come alive to inspire, heal, and guide you toward a brighter tomorrow. This is a moving journey of two friends torn apart by betrayal, but brought back together by the courage to forgive. Along the way, we'll witness hurt, resentment, unexpected twists, and a healing resolution. In the end, forgiveness proves stronger than anger, showing us the true power of love and second chances. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Inner Spark, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story that uplifts your spirit and lights up your path. Daniel and Michael have been best friends since childhood, growing up in the same small town where everyone knew each other. They studied together, played football on weekends, and shared dreams of building a future filled with success. But life has a way of testing even the strongest bonds, and theirs was about to face a storm. Daniel was ambitious, always aiming higher, while Michael was more grounded, valuing trust and loyalty above all else. Their friendship was envied by many, and it seemed unshakable from the outside. But beneath the laughter and shared stories, a hidden tension had begun to grow slowly. Daniel often felt Michael held him back, while Michael feared Daniel was becoming too selfish. Though neither admitted it aloud, their paths were quietly drifting apart. One opportunity would become the turning point they never expected. A local business competition announced a prize that could change their lives forever. The winners would receive funding for a startup, recognition, and mentorship from top leaders. Both Daniel and Michael had dreamed of starting something together, and this seemed like destiny knocking at their door. They brainstormed for weeks, building ideas late into the night, arguing and laughing like old times. Michael's creativity and Daniel's strategy made them a strong team on paper. Yet Daniel secretly worried that Michael's cautious nature would ruin their chances. Without telling him, Daniel prepared his own solo version of their idea. It was a risky move, but he told himself it was for the best. Trust was about to be tested in ways neither imagined. The competition day arrived, and the hall was filled with energy, excitement, and nervous faces. Michael believed they were presenting together, unaware of Daniel's plan. When the announcer called Daniel's name, Michael clapped proudly, expecting to walk up beside him. But instead, Daniel stepped forward alone, holding a sleek presentation. Michael froze in shock, his heart pounding as betrayal sank deep into his chest. The idea Daniel presented was nearly identical to what they had built together. Michael felt the ground fall from beneath his feet as friends and neighbors stared. That moment shattered years of loyalty in just a few minutes. Trust had been replaced with silence, and pain was all that remained. The judges applauded Daniel's brilliance, and soon he was declared the winner of the competition. The crowd cheered, but Michael couldn't even hear it. His mind was a storm of anger and disbelief. He left the hall without a word, his hands trembling as memories of brotherhood turned into bitter reminders. Daniel looked for him afterward, but Michael was already gone. That night, Michael sat alone, replaying everything in his head, the laughter, the plans, the shared dreams. Betrayal burned deeper than fire. It felt like his soul had been pierced. Daniel, on the other hand, celebrated quietly, convincing himself it was necessary for success. Yet, beneath his smile, a voice whispered that he had lost something priceless. Success had come, but at a cost he didn't yet understand. Months passed, and Daniel's startup began to flourish. He gained recognition, money, and connections, but his life felt strangely empty. Every success reminded him of Michael, and every award fell hollow without his friend beside him. Michael, meanwhile, kept his distance, burying himself in work, but resentment lingered. He often walked past the cafe where they once spent hours dreaming, only to feel a sharp sting of sadness. Friends in town avoided discussing Daniel around him, knowing the wound was still raw. Though he never admitted it, Michael sometimes wondered if forgiveness was even possible. At the same time, Daniel longed to apologize but lacked the courage to face the man he had hurt most. Pride built a wall higher than forgiveness could climb. But time has a way of breaking walls. One rainy evening, fate intervened in the most unexpected way. Michael was walking home from work when he heard screeching tires behind him. He turned just in time to see a car skid out of control and crash into a lamppost. Heart racing, he rushed forward to help the driver, trapped inside. As he pulled open the door, his breath caught. Inside was Daniel, dazed and bleeding. For a moment, Michael's anger flared, telling him to walk away, to let karma take its course. But his humanity wouldn't allow it. He pulled Daniel out and called for help. In that instant, their eyes met, filled with memories and unspoken words. Forgiveness hadn't come yet, but compassion had found its way back. Sometimes, life forces us to confront the very people we try to avoid. At the hospital, Michael sat quietly in the waiting area while doctors treated Daniel. He thought about leaving, about walking away forever, but something anchored him to the chair. Hours passed and memories flooded his mind, of childhood pranks, football games, and late-night dreams. The bitterness softened, replaced by a strange ache he couldn't define. When Daniel finally woke, his voice was weak, but his eyes carried guilt deeper than words. "I'm sorry, Michael," he whispered, breaking down in tears. For the first time, Michael saw not the man who betrayed him, but the broken friend who regretted it every day. In that fragile moment, Michael realized forgiveness was not about letting Daniel off the hook. It was about freeing himself from the prison of anger. The days that followed were awkward, but healing. Michael visited often, sometimes in silence, sometimes sharing old memories to fill the quiet. Daniel, humbled by the accident, confessed how empty success had felt without him. He admitted the betrayal had haunted him, robbing him of peace even as his business thrived. Michael listened, torn between anger and empathy, but each visit chipped away at the wall between them. One evening, Daniel asked if they could ever rebuild what they lost. Michael didn't answer immediately. Forgiveness is not instant. It's a process. But he promised to try, and that was enough to spark hope. For the first time in months, both men felt lighter, as if the weight of resentment was finally loosening. As weeks turned into months, Daniel and Michael slowly rebuilt their connection. They didn't jump back to being best friends overnight, but step by step, trust returned. Daniel invited Michael to join him in expanding the business, this time as an equal partner. At first, Michael hesitated, fearing history might repeat itself. But Daniel's humility and honesty convinced him this time was different. Their new partnership wasn't built on old habits, but on hard-earned lessons. They both understood that betrayal had scarred them, but forgiveness had also given them wisdom. Together, they created something stronger than either could have built alone. Their story became known in the town, inspiring others to believe in second chances. Forgiveness had not erased the past, but it had healed their future. Both men discovered that the true power of forgiveness lies not in what it gives others, but in what it frees within yourself. By letting go, Michael regained peace, and Daniel rediscovered what success really meant. Their bond, once broken, became a testament to the resilience of the human heart. And in their journey, they proved that even the deepest wounds can become the birthplace of healing. So if you've been hurt, betrayed, or left behind, remember this story. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing what was done. It means choosing freedom over bitterness, peace over resentment, and love over hate. Sometimes the hardest battles are fought not against others, but within ourselves. And when you win that battle, you open the door to a life lighter, brighter, and filled with hope. Thank you for watching InnerSpark. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, healing begins the moment you decide to let go.